God, I've been walking in peace, gave me the key. I know that it's critical. Now that I'm here, I see everything that I need. Thought in the principle. And walking in fear, I'm done going back to the past. It really been minimal. I'm gonna follow the king. I got a key. Now that I follow the principle.
Alright, so I love the gym. Progress is such a tantalizing carrot on a stick. I can't stop chasing the next PR. And when you feel like you're moving up, you don't want to stop. But the gym hasn't always been such a comforting source of purification for me. It used to be very frustrating. I've actually been lifting on and off since I was around 13. This is Max. He just turned 13. He's my girlfriend's younger brother, and he reminds me a lot of my younger self. One day, Jalen asked Max if he wanted to go to the gym with us, and he said, sure. So we brought him along, and I showed him how to do a leg workout. He loved it. Now I'm on a mission to get Max jacked. And to be honest with you, it's not just for him. The older I get, the more I realize that being of service to other people is the only way to build your value as a person. The more people you positively impact, the better you're going to feel about yourself. When I was younger, I always thought it was very silly to try and play a role in other people's lives that they didn't ask you to play. My younger self was far too vain and insecure to ever consider being a supporting figure in another person's life. I was a product of my generation, narcissistic to the point of self-loathing. And I hate to see young kids like Max falling into the same traps, becoming overly self-conscious, concerning themselves more with distraction than purpose, idolizing the vapid, and allowing themselves to rot both physically and spiritually. Another thing is called leg drive. You want to make sure you're not kicking your feet out, you're not having them dangle it. That felt really good, but like, what did I feel like doing the bar? That was alright. Let's put 10s on. Okay. Just do like 6 reps, don't gas out on it, just get a feel for it.
Spin with my dog, never step alone. I got the key like I'm never home. Standing on business like with.
This is like, it just comes with practice, but you want to pay attention to the path the bar is taking. So you're going to be starting with it about like chin level. When it comes down, it's right below your boobies, right there in between your chest and stomach. And then it comes out along that path right back to chin. So you want to kind of have the same path each time. Okay. It's kind of like up and backwards at the same time. Okay. But usually I know when they start, it's kind of all over the place. It's just muscle memory. The demons that run the world want kids to start dying before they ever start living. Kids today, they hate school as much as ever, and I hate how complacent we've become as a society about this fact. Kids stay home from school so they can avoid filling their heads with useless bullshit that they don't care about. And then they spend the day willingly filling their head with useless bullshit that they don't care about. It's really sad to say, but kids today are falling directly into the devil's traps. But there is hope, more hope than the enemy could ever combat. In Jesus, man is unstoppable. We are ferociously motivated and willful. Through God, we find the will to do what's right. We find real wisdom. We find strength to learn on our own, filtering out the lies of the world. We find peace. We are kinder. We are more honest. We do what we desire to do, rather than think about it. We use our bodies for their intended purposes. The feeling of bringing a person into a place where they are seeking more is so satisfying. Not to mention the sense of responsibility I feel as a young man. This generation is so lacking in terms of role models, it literally infuriates me. I hate this culture with a burning passion for the way it seeks to corrupt young people, and I won't stand for it. You gotta realize that as a young man, you are a role model. I think a lot of times we start thinking like, I've got my whole life to do things the right way. People are looking to more experienced people, older men, to give them guidance. But the honest truth is, young kids are not looking to old men. They're not looking to their parents. You know, no one over the age of like 10 years old is actually looking to their parents for advice. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it's reality. So if you're 16, 17, 18 years old, or older, of course, you have got to get it together because there are people looking to you as a role model, as a figure, as someone to model their life after. If you're doing drugs, if you're being a loser, if you have no job, you're doing nothing about all of these problems in your life, not only are you doing yourself a disservice, but you're doing a disservice to anyone who is younger than you, who is looking at you as a figure of support. You don't become a father the day you have a kid. You become a father much before that. So it's time to stop pretending like your actions have no consequences. Stop pretending like nothing you do matters, and recognize every decision you make has influence on someone else. And God sees what you do in private. Have some integrity and start looking after the young people in your life. I will not let the young people around me fall to the depraved influence of them. If I'm ever to do or be anything, I will be a role model. Yeah, do a pull-up. Do you do a pull-up, Max?
I don't think so.
Try it.
Back up.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
No, do a pull-up.
All right.
I talk to God through a megaphone.
Look at yourself in the mirror so you can kind of gauge your feel. I will help the next generation to be better. I will not contribute to another generation of burnt out losers. I want to foster the exceptions. I want to bring about a generation of faithful men before God's own heart. I want my son to be as wise as Solomon and as brave as David. But how can I expect that to happen if I don't first embody these qualities myself? The gym is a proving ground. It's where we test our grit. It's where you reveal to yourself how much you're really capable of. But you won't see what you can do until you believe it's possible. You can't see what you don't believe exists. This is why we need figures above us to show us what's truly inside. Only through role models and figures of support can we realize that we are truly sons of God and that God's children conquer all. The way I do it is the first 2 sets are your low down like this. So see how my back is kind of not fully flat, almost. That's going to target towards the back of your shoulders. So you go here, right here, and then elbow slightly bent and it stays locked like that. So this isn't going to move, it stays like that. You're hinging from here. So let's up, down. Like that. Up. Try to lock your elbows. So see when as you're coming up, your elbow's starting to bend by the time it's here. But you want it just like this the whole time. Okay, that's good. Yep. Your elbow can be bent, it just needs to stay locked at the same amount of bendness. You know what I mean? So it comes up. See how my elbow isn't bending anymore?
Yeah.
That's what you want. So it doesn't need to be like this, but you also don't want it bending as you're coming up.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Fatherhood is something that's constantly on my mind. How will I make myself the best father I can possibly be? How will I answer God's call to raise up the next generation and prepare humanity for the war that's coming? How will I contribute? Do you know how you're going to contribute to the world? Do you know what God's called you to do and be? Are you prepared to die? These are questions which young men must ask themselves sooner or later. Because our days are finite and our hearts grow bitter the longer we go without God's grace. You know what you have to do, what you have to be. You just have to let God reveal it to you. And if you don't do this, how many will you forsake? How many people could you have rescued from hell? Not only on earth, but in eternity. What kind of man would you have been if you had just yielded to the one? I would die to life for my feelings. I would die to life for my feelings. I would die to life for my feelings.
life.